I want to talk about his football team, but we wander all over the place when we're talking to Lane Kiffin about a variety of different subjects. So I just want the true story in retrospect because we were talking about this recently and we don't have all the facts. I want to know how Jamarcus Russell got picked overall number one. And is it indeed off of one game? Was he drafted the way the rest of us drafted him, which is like watching him in the national championship game and then saying, "Oh, that guy should be the first overall pick," because I know that you disagreed with picking him first.
I did, and it wasn't a huge thing on Jamarcus. It was just okay at the time. The rookie contracts were so big, and to be able to handle that would take somebody extremely mature. And just really had went and evaluated Calvin Johnson, went to his pro day, and just thought this guy was going to be one of the best to ever play, and extremely mature to be able to handle that. And now, Mr. Davis, I had watched that Sugar Bowl and was in love with the Sugar Bowl, and he threw a ball like 80 yards or something like that in a workout. So he was going to draft him no matter what based off of that.
What would you say is the most frustrated you've ever been with what your evaluation was versus it being diametrically opposed to management saying, no, we don't care what your evaluation is?
Well, that was it. I just thought that was going to be, a defining moment, the first pick of the draft, especially at the quarterback position, because you better get it right. You're going to set yourself back a long time often. So that was very frustrating, and no disrespect. I just was frustrated that the only answer was, well, I saw him in that game. And if you go back, that defense that year of Notre Dame wasn't very good either, most of the season. So I just kind of disappointed in the evaluation process for a pick that ended up being $63 million, 31 guaranteed.
That's my bad. I made it a national championship game when it was just a Sugar Bowl. But take us through, though, how this happens. Do you realize on the spot that you're doomed? That if that's the way it's going to work at that position with ownership and you don't have any real power over the evaluation, do you realize then and there that relationship's not going to work?
I realized it was not going to, especially, at that position, because obviously you're going to, need to eventually play the first pick at quarterback. And not like he's, some right guard that you can hide him if he's not playing very well, or too immature to handle it. So I knew we were probably in trouble then.
Did you have much of that with Saban, where you would have one analysis and his analysis was diametrically opposed to everything you thought?
Not many, and not that far off. Again, no respect to Mr. Davis. That was, a lot later on in his career. And so, I don't think you ever agree with, your boss all the time, like with Coach Saban. But, I think it was different because there could be a disagreement, but there'd be a reason and a lot of study that had gone into that and a lot of points why it was the better decision.
Let's talk about now instead of some distant past stuff, because I know that you're excited about the SEC. I know that you're excited about your program, and I was confused. I've seen some quotes from you. Where the hell was your defense last year? I felt like there was a whole lot of in your games running up and down the field.
Yes, there was. We did not play defense very often last year. I think part of that was the COVID. I think first-year staff struggle on defense without having spring ball. And we had some transfers that at that time you weren't able to just be eligible. You had to sit out without being cleared. So, hopefully those guys will be able to help us this year, and had a lot of mid-years and had a spring ball finally. So we look to be much improved there.
Can you take us on a tour of Oxford and how much culture shock you had going from Boca to Oxford?
That would be culture shock. That's for sure. But Oxford is awesome. It is a great town. It's a reason why it's one of the best college towns in America. And so many kids want to come here, and wonderful people. But yes, that would be culture shock from Boca. That's for sure.
What's the closest thing that Oxford has to the Blue Martini?
I would guess somewhere in Memphis, maybe. That's like an hour away.
Okay. So I want to
So
understand.
Beale Street would be the closest
I
thing.
want to understand.
I was actually going to say that, but I feel like that was a long ways away. But I was going to say that.
I want to go on a little bit of a tour with you. Show us some of the local flavor. You've been in Tennessee. You've been in California. You've been in Boca Raton. Oxford is very different from everywhere you've been.
It is. There's a square with great restaurants and so there's a lake close by. And
You're a lake guy now, I guess.
I'm not, but they have one and people go on it. You get a little spoiled in Boca with blue water and, not just intercoastal, but that's the ocean right there, 5 minutes from your backyard. So I think anywhere you go from there is down.
The lake. Tell me more about the lake.
There is a lake. I have not been on it. I have driven by it. It's called Lake Sardis, and people go on it.
Is that the welcome to Oxford sign? Welcome to Oxford. There is a lake.
If you win, they're going to rename it Lake Kiffin. That's what I hear.
Well, I probably would need to go on it before they put my name on it, actually go to it once. No, it's just, like I said, you get spoiled, in Boca and boat in your backyard and there's the ocean and everything. So, and I'm not really a lake brown water fishing guy. So I'm probably the wrong person to really appreciate how great Lake Sardis is.
Lane, we were talking to Stan Van Gundy a couple weeks ago, and he said that you were one of the coaches that he would have come on his pontoon boat with him. And we were kind of trying to figure out, is Lane a pontoon boat guy? Is he a speedboat guy? But he was pretty adamant that you would be a good time on a pontoon boat. Do you like pontoon boats, or is it too slow speed for you?
I'm not a big pontoon boat guy. That's what would be out on Lake Sardis here, would be pontoons. Which there's a Lake Tuscaloosa in Tuscaloosa out there that has pontoons. So I did go on that when I was in Alabama. And it's nice. It's a simple, slow moving vessel. I kind of, again, got spoiled with, a little faster moving boats down there fishing in South Florida.
Lane, you're a cigarette boat guy. You're a speedboat guy. You are not a brown water lake guy.
I'm in between. I'm not the speedboat guy and hear my engines, how loud and how many I have. That's not me either. But I'm more like, the in-between boat. You can fish, you can bring the kids on, you can pull them out on the tube, out in the ocean. You can get somewhere faster than you need to.
What are you listening to when you're out on the boat?
Usually probably country music. I just feel like that's kind of like the boat water thing, that you're supposed to have country music or whatever somebody's playing on them.
What do you drink? What are you drinking?
I don't think I'm supposed to answer that.
What do you mean you're not supposed to answer that? Is it beer?
College athletics.
You're just drinking academic integrity.
You're drinking milk.
You're a yacht guy. You're a Boca yacht guy now in Oxford.
I am. We drink Gatorade because I think that's a sponsor, so I should probably say that.
Lane, how does Ole Miss get creative with NILs to start taking people from Alabama?
Well, you do have a lot of, people here in state that, love Ole Miss football and want to help out and want to support players. So, as we go through this and learn more about it and set those things up, I think it's a good advantage to us. I'm not saying we're Alabama, but we're in a lot better situation than most places.
Lane, how does this work? Does some big booster just come up to you and say, Lane, I got a whole bunch of money, burning money in my pocket. How do I give it to your program? How do I do this all legally? Now that we're not faking it anymore. What do these conversations look and sound like? I want to help your program by paying some of your players.
I send them to compliance. They go over there and talk to them. So that's about the only answer I have on that for you.
Do you like it when Nick Saban is saying my quarterback who hasn't played yet is about to get $1 million in endorsements. Is this a change that Lane Kiffin likes?
Yeah, that wasn't on purpose at all. It wasn't said knowing that that was going to go national, and just happened to throw it out, close to $1 million, that didn't just like really upset the rest of the SEC, and that would have no impact in recruiting at all.
How did you receive the news of Texas and Oklahoma coming over to your conference in a blatant money grab?
I think I read it on the ticker. I think it's good. The SEC is the most powerful by far, and now it'll even be more. So, if you're a recruit, how do you not go to the SEC? And especially as you talk about name, image, likeness contracts, and how much they're going to make, and all the money around with TV contracts and attention on the conference. I mean, kind of like you're going to have Division I, Division II of everybody else.
What is the thing about Texas and Oklahoma coming over to your conference that people aren't talking about enough or are missing that you find interesting?
I just think it'll be strange. I have some tradition in me with sports and college football. I just think that's a strange scene, Texas or Oklahoma going into Tuscaloosa, or Athens. And it being, a conference game that would be every year, or divisional game every year. That's just strange to me, but I'm sure we'll get used to it like A&M.
Coach, what's something, having left the NFL and come back to college football, that you look at and say, man, I'm glad I don't have to deal with that anymore?
Well, I just, on a positive note, I like college because I like how the kids play and care. And I'm not saying players don't care in the NFL, but the best example that to me makes sense is in college, you choose where you're going. And most of the time I grew up wanting to go there, or I want to be this player that played there. I have a passion to go there, or I'm from the state. The NFL, they choose you. So of course you want to win and all that stuff, but it's just a different energy and passion, towards the game. And well, until now you weren't getting paid. So, there was a difference there too, a job versus, a choice.
Have you had any funny, eccentric, strange interactions with Mike Leach, since both of you are now wandering around the conference, and he is one of the most unusual characters anywhere in the history of leadership?
He is very unusual. Yes. And we just did a state or county fair, which is a county fair in Mississippi together. So I don't think we ever thought that day would be seen, that we're up in chairs in a, barn thing, that I kept thinking like Hannah Montana was going to come out or something, but every encounter is unique with him. Yes.
Would you be kind enough, please, to just set a scene for us, the county fair with Lane Kiffin and Mike Leach, any and all details you could give us, please?
Well, not as fun as you would like, because I was recruiting. So we actually just flew in, landed, did it, got back on the plane and flew back here. So not as exciting as you would think if we would have stayed there over the night. And but knowing Leach, I guess it's like an 8-day fair that they stay at. So knowing Leach, he probably stayed a lot longer than me.
When in competition with Coach Leach over a recruit, would you rather go before Coach Leach or after? Because I gotta think there is just an inherent advantage to be going, that was weird, and then going to your pitch.
Yeah, I think we'd rather go after on that. But let him kind of go his Leach style on them, and then we'll come in and actually let them talk. So it would be different.
Coach, wondering, you said the county fair. Are there any dunk tanks at the county fair, and have you ever sat in a dunk tank?
I don't think I've sat in one. We did have one at our spring game for the losing coaches and players. I don't know if there was one at the county fair. I wasn't there long enough, to walk around and see, but I'm sure there was.
More generally, for Lane Kiffin, the highlights of a county fair are what? More generally, because you've established, hey, I was in and out there, very busy recruiting. I don't have time to throw tomatoes at a maiden or go to the axe chop. So give us whatever the axe throw, whatever the details of the
It's
county
not a
fair are.
Renaissance fair.
Well, what kind of? I want to know more about the county fair. I want to know more details.
Well, as you know, I'm not really politically correct on these answers, so I just tell you the truth. I'm not really a county fair guy. No disrespect to the county fair or the people that go there for the whole week. It looks wonderful, I'm sure, but that's just really not my baby. Like,
Fair enough.
there's no water around, or just like out in the middle everywhere. It's hot as can be all day, and everybody's just staying in these cabins and you know, trailers and stuff. That's just horses. And
Would you rather be in a lake or at a county fair?
you'd fit in the South because you just asked a question you totally know the answer to. I call it the South thing. Ask the question that you really know the answer to.
I've got so many more questions about boating, Lane Kiffin. Are you a yacht rock guy?
I don't mind going on them. Obviously, you know, there's so many right there, and at FAU you get to know a lot of people, and so pretty cool going up and down
No,
there.
but the music, yacht rock, the music is what I'm asking you about. You said country music.
I'm not cool enough to know what yacht rock is.
Oh, if you're on a yacht, you got to fire up some Doobie Brothers, because there's a whole genre of rock music that's called yacht rock. It's a birthright to go on a yacht and listen to "She Came From Somewhere Back in His Logo."
Oh, it's been a long time since I've heard the fake Michael McDonald.
Oh, he is the voice of yacht rock, Lane. You got to get into it.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I missed that. I don't really know that. So next time I'm on one, I'll have to have him play it.
Do you miss Boca?
Yeah, I still have my house there. I was just there 2 weeks ago, so I still have my house there. Boat, jet skis in the backyard, blue water and big fish.
It's what you actually mean. It's the color of the water. Lane, let's just get it out there. I just want it stated flatly, instead of all this dancing you're doing in gray or brown area. It's the color of the water that you miss in South Florida, and that's what you miss the most.
I like that color of water. How does that make me bet? Do you put a pool in your backyard and make it brown? No. So I don't understand wanting to jump in a lake that's brown, but that's just
Yeah. Right on.
Or to go down on the bottom with your hand and have a catfish bite your hand and noodle it up. I don't really understand that, but maybe I'll learn.
You want to see what's at the bottom. You want to see what's at the bottom of the water. You don't want to grab something that's got a big mouth and whiskers.
I don't want to put my feet on the bottom of the water, let alone put my hand down there in a lake/pond.
Lane, good talking to you about brown water.
All right, guys. See ya.
Yeah.